Good evening everybody. My name is Karthik Mohan Mohanamurugan and this is a video lecture on Japan. Japanese culture towards business. Japanese cultural values as an extension of the Hofstede's model is the fifth dimension added later to his work. It is also referred to as Confucian dynamism and can explain the long-term orientation of the Japanese culture. The elements of the Confucian dynamism are 8 individual values. They are divided into 4 are higher importance and 4 that are less important. Those with higher importance are persistence and perseverance, or in relationship by status and observing that order, thrift and having a sense of shame or a self-effective attitude. The relatively important values are personal steadiness or stability, protecting one's faith, respect for tradition and reciprocating of greetings, favor or gift. These have been summarized in following table. These values explain that group cohesiveness is enhanced by self-efficacy. Reciprocity is a social expectation, however, it does not apply to business. Politics and business. To most foreigners, Japanese politics may appear somewhat puzzling. Policy does not seem to change regardless of who is leading the country, and in fact, that's the argument the person in the street gives when asked about his or her lack of interest in politics. Why bother? Nothing changes. Actually, most legislation is not produced by the member of the Diet but by ministers and bureaucrats. The policy making process in Japan is more similar to the parliamentary system of Europe and contrasts with the American system, in which presidential appointees attempt to exercise control over branches of the bureaucracy on behalf of president. It's not uncommon in Japan for the influence and power of a Japanese ministry or agency to outlive the reign of Prime Minister, as evident in the powerful Ministry of International Trade and Industry, better known as MITI. Not surprisingly, given the culture, the Japanese political system also has a tradition of group rather than personalized leadership. Elderly statesmen and party chiefs, not individual prime minister, often make political decisions. Cabinet members are usually appointed to head ministries or agencies for a very brief period of time and at most establish only general policy control. Recently, commentators have begun to question this lack of action. Japan's legal system is very different from what most Westerners are used to. For example, only since 1986 have foreign legal consultants been allowed to provide legal services. The requirements were modified in 1994 with the signing of the amendments to the Foreign Attorney Law. In certain type of practices, licensed legal consultants from other countries can now practice together with Japanese attorneys. Anyone planning on doing business in Japan should bear in mind that prefectures and municipalities may create laws and regulations independently of each other, so long as they do not contradict national laws. In other words, there are local laws and regulations in addition to laws that are consistent and uniform throughout the country. Each of the 47 prefectures may have a slight different requirement concerning paperwork. For example, the Japanese are not litigious, they generally prefer arbitration and compromise to insulting lawsuits. Lawyers encourage a settlement out of court for all disputes, and the amount of money awarded as compensation is a fraction of the amount awarded in America. For example, in recent years, most cases have been brought to court, but they have tended to be high-profile suits that has the support of a group. The judge makes the ruling and decides whether and how much to award as compensation. Such cases do not go before a jury. Japan had a jury system at one time, but it was discontinued after 5 years since ordinary citizens were very reluctant to make important decisions about the people's life. To deter people from filing suits, the plaintiff is required to pay a large filing fee and all legal costs. Attorney may not take cases on contingency. One of the most significant differences between Japanese law and the law in many other countries has to do with the power of contracts. Japanese contracts are not necessarily meant to be binding. Rather founded on trust, they are only more short statements of mutual intent. The assumption is that if a change occurs in the circumstances of the contract, the term will be renegotiated. If you enter into a Western style contract, which more companies are using as they work with overseas business. You will want to hire an English speaking Japanese lawyer or a lawyer very familiar with Japanese law to guide you through the process. If you or your company is drafting the contract, keep the language as simple as legally possible or provide explanations for legal jargon. Especially in smaller companies, the person appointed to translate or interpret the contract may have limited English language skills. Legalize will make the document incomprehensible. As you would do with any cross-cultural agreement, be sure to define currency exchange rate and legal process and language especially clearly. Leadership style. With regards to the Japanese style, the success of the Japanese management and its difference from other leadership styles resulted in the visible advantage that they gained in quality production. The Japanese system, characterized with lifetime employment guarantee, a seniority system rewarding loyalty and commitment to group harmony. There are several common characteristics of the Japanese companies that can be drawn. First, once hired, an employee almost never leaves a job, even though they have that choice. Second, because Japan has a homogeneous population connected by one language and social values, this makes it easier to maintain a close social system of relationships among companies, groups, and political interests. Third, Japan's decision-making approach, also called bottom-up, is based on participation from all employees. The name of this management approach, which means reverential inquiry, is cited from the work of Mitsuru Misubara. The Japanese decision-making involves and empowers employees without encouraging confrontations. When a group achieves their objective together, they are rewarded for the common achievement. Japanese companies rarely award individuals apart from a group, and promotion privileges of an individual should enhance group harmony. Managers also have to use their intellectual capabilities and experience to encourage the team to work at fulfilling their potential. The Japanese system of leadership is based on participative method and group responsibility. Business hierarchy. If we look at the corporate culture in Japan, then one feature of the business organization which comes out distinctively is Japanese business hierarchy. The business hierarchy are quite important and play a vital significant role in the Japanese organization. The Japanese people are very strong believers of the fact that one should never attempt to do anything beyond or below their status, and they have implemented this belief in their corporate culture also by drawing strict lines, by defining functionalities and scope of each and every designation or position in the organization. The Japanese business hierarchy defines clear functional boundaries for all the professionals of the organization. Hierarchy are extremely vital in the corporate culture of Japanese people, and the relative status in the enterprise determines and defines the interaction with other people in the organization. The hierarchy in the Japanese corporate culture are majorly based on the cooperation and conscious instead of authority delegation and top to bottom decision making process. Japanese people strongly feel that the trend to delegations of authority and decision making power from top to bottom typifies the Western understanding of hierarchy. Hierarchies for Japanese people do not only define the authority and power that every position possesses, but it is a way of actively involving all the people and the contribution in the organization by defining the roles and responsibilities. As per Japanese business hierarchy, the individuals in an organization must be made aware of their position in the organization and with respect to other individuals. As per Japanese belief, the hierarchical arrangement of employees gives them a sense of belongingness to the organization and the group. And this is the way the Japanese organization draw the strength. The hierarchy outlines the rules and procedures to guide the various activities to be performed by the member of the organization, and it also informs the employees that what role they are required to perform. Human resource management. Under the pressure of the more than decade-long recession, some Japanese HRM practices are affected to adopt some changes in terms of three pillars, consisting of the lifetime employment, seniority-based wage and promotion system, and enterprise unionism. Besides permanent employees, part-time workers and contractor groups of specialists are becoming widespread. Not emphasizing too much on the seniority principle, Japanese firms also adopt the merit-based system which focuses on the performance ability of employees. The function of enterprise unionism is reduced as change in attitude of young workers and turning to merit-based system have decreased the relationship between employees and unions. Comparison of Korean and Japanese finance system. Korea. Internal goal dictated by government goal agenda. Cross-debt payment guaranteed loans. For Japan, its internal goal dictated by own financial institution, long-term returns, and capitalized by using internal banks and financial institutions willing to take higher risk. Legal considerations. Like Japan, South Korea follows the civil and commercial code of continental Europe. Korean law are not as strict, consistent, or enforceable as in low context cultures. Lawyers in Korea are peacemakers and maintainers of harmony. Japanese business ethics. An Asian culture which has evolved with the geographical boundaries of an island has produced a modern day society with unique values, traditions, and customs. Doing business in Japan arguably possesses the most potential for cross cultural misunderstandings. Group orientation. Altruism, teamwork, and group cohesiveness are all areas greatly stressed within Japanese society. Individual identity is defined by the social group. Consequently, when doing business, the Japanese stress compromise and self-discipline. Hierarchy. With its roots in Confucianism, hierarchical structures classifies an individual's position within a group and in society. Status is determined by factors such as age, employment, company, and family background. The hierarchical system dictates that due respect be offered to those of higher status. When doing business in Japan, be aware of hierarchy and adapt your behavior accordingly. Respect. In order to preserve harmony in society and to maintain the clarity of the hierarchical structure, showing respect to others acts as a crucial social lubricant. Respect is conveyed through language, behavior, etiquette, body language, and other subtle forms of nonverbal communication. Meeting and greeting. There is a high-end sense of formality in Japanese interaction. When doing business in Japan, your suitability in respect to conducting business will be accessed during a first meeting. The bow is an integral part of Japanese society. It is used when meeting, getting attention, to show gratitude, to express sympathy, or an apology. Introduce yourself with your full name followed by your company name. It is important to use proper titles when addressing someone. The exchange of business cards when doing business in Japan involves a degree of ceremony. The card is seen to represent an individual, so should be treated with respect. Before traveling to Japan, ensure you have ample cards and have one-side translation into Japanese. When exchanging, offer your card with both hands or just the right hand. Present Japanese side up. Ensure there is no carrier between you and the recipient such as table, chair, or plant. When accepting, always use two hands as this shows difference. Building relationship. When doing business in Japan, a successful relationship with a Japanese colleague or client is based on three factors: sincerity, compatibility, and trustworthiness. Sincerity means that you are compromising, understanding, and you want to conduct business on a personal level. Compatibility is established when you are seen to be concerned about the personal relationship, the well-being of the company, and not just focused on financial gain. Trustworthiness relates to the faith put in you to protect from loss phase. Communication. The emphasis in Japanese culture on maintaining harmony has developed in such a way as to allow very vague forms of expression. The culture logic behind this is that by avoiding direct or explicit statement, one has a better chance of not causing offense. Meeting and negotiation. At a meeting, you will always deal with a team as opposed to an individual. Each attendee will be there with a particular expertise, so either bring assistance or be sure you are confident enough to handle all the questions you will receive. You will greet the most senior employee first and then others in descending order. The senior employee will be there as a ceremonial representative of the company. The lesser ranking attendees will usually do the talking or negotiation. Meeting usually takes place for only one or three reasons: to build rapport, exchange information, or confirm previously made decisions. Decisions are rarely made in a meeting. The Japanese are very detail oriented. Expect lot of questions and lot of questions repeated in different ways. Be sure to have the answers, as the failures to do so will look unprofessional. Be sure to bring as much information as possible in writing on your company, service, product, or proposal. The Japanese like dealing with quite sincere, uncompromising individuals. Extroverts are seen as brash and arrogant. Early on in negotiations, remain humble, indirect, and non-threatening. Do not disagree openly. Do not put people on the spot, and always employ diplomatic language when doing business. Be sure to hold off conversations till the end of proceedings. If made early, your integrity will be questioned. Silence is considered a virtue. If things go quiet when doing business in a meeting, then do not panic. Reflection is taking place. Silence may also be accompanied by the closing of the eyes. Never interrupt or break the silence. Thank you.